Bonjour, je m'appelle Daji. Bienvenue my channel. I am so, y'all don't know how long I've been waiting to do this video, child. Let's get into it. As you can see, I am one of the lucky ones who has been able to take the French course by the Damon Domonique. I decided that the best way to go about this was to really not just talk about my experience, like blah blah blah, but baby, we're gonna get into it, okay? So if you're really interested in not just how the course went, but everything around it, let's start. It all began summer 2016, the year before my junior year in college. I thought I was going to study abroad in Barcelona. Spoiler alert, I have enough money. I started researching traveling videos and whatnot on YouTube and came across Damon's OG YouTube channel. And I was like, broke people traveling the world and they speak multiple languages? What? That's the thing? Oh. So I've been watched all of their YouTube channels and it was like, just so fascinated that poor people were just traveling all around the world and just living their best life and still happy about it. I learned about hostels, I learned about backpacking, I learned about being able to do many informal / formal language courses, like you not having to go to school for this for a long period of time. My whole world was opened up. I did not know that this world existed. First things first, like I mentioned, I've been a Damon Domonique fan for almost a decade at this point. We have a lot of similarities. We're both from the Midwest. He's from Indiana. I'm from Ohio. We're both Libras, so we got the same personality. Like whenever I'm watching his video, I'm like, this is exactly how I think. This is exactly how I'll respond to this. This is like, we are each other. Okay, Damon? I feel like we would be best friends because I don't know, it's like, I feel you. Like when he's talking about something, he's real passionate. I'm like, I feel that. I feel that. Okay. So there's that. Next, because I enjoy his personality so much, that is what I felt like was going to be the main factor in why I would be able to stay, the course of learning French, because French is such a difficult language. I am currently also speaking 4 other languages: Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, and French is on there. French is the most different one. It's the most difficult to get my English speaking mouth to make these sound. It is so much harder. I don't give a F that they're all Romance languages. French, girl. So I purchased this course in September of 2023. He had a special going on at the time, some type of sale, and he also was offering weekly feedback with another French speaker. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. So it's not just me consuming the course. I'm going to be able to talk to him, which is very important, and we'll get into that later. So when I bought the course, I purchased a couple of the books that he recommended. I tuned into the podcast of the recommendations of his. I downloaded his French playlist, which I still love and listen to this day. Hopefully he updates some of the songs because that playlist eats, okay? Every song, I don't know what the hell they were saying, but I'm feeling this, okay? So I was so appreciative because I feel like most courses when you learn a language are gonna, when they talk about French culture, they're speaking in the past tense. Here was the founder of France and the person that discovered it, and here's how the French hierarchy came to be. It's like you got a French friend. That's what this course he knows what's going on in French now. He knows what's trending in French. He knows what the French people are thinking. He knows what the French people are I don't need to know about French 100 years ago. I need to know about French now. When I go to France, I need to know what's popping. What's the songs that they're gonna be playing in the club? What's the slang? What's the I need to know about French today. So I'm like, okay, perfect. He's not just talking about 100 years ago, the first French settler did this. I don't give a F about that right now. Okay. What's the newest slang? Okay. If I go to France and somebody cusses me out, how do I respond to them? What's tea? Okay. So naturally, I was overwhelmed. I was very intimidated by French. That's kind of why I pushed it back so far, because I'm like, this language is nuts. How do I get my English speaking brain and mouth and throat to make these sounds? It was just crazy. So I was overwhelmed by the material, because he goes in, he says at the beginning of the first chapter, usually if you go to French school, they'll push this to advanced or intermediate French. But no, we're gonna learn this today. I'm like, whoa, wait a damn minute. One thing I appreciate, he reiterates, I'm going to say these things and teach you this, and you're not going to know what the hell I'm talking about. You're not going to understand it. You're going to need to keep studying and keep reading it and keep reading it. But it's okay. You just need more time. You'll figure it out. Like, if you're reading and, you know, watching these modules back to back to back, it's a lot of intake. So if you're frustrated with the fact that you don't understand it, like, duh, it's your first time hearing these things. Why would you get it the first time? Basically, spoiler alerts, I didn't stay the course when I initially bought this course. So it was like an 8-week program, right? And every week there was a chapter that she was supposed to do, and then there were homework, and then he would give like the answers of the homework and all that, and he would have a separate like app resource if you had any questions to ask him. After about week 2, I kind of dropped out and it was like, okay, next week I'll do it, next week I'll do it. Basically procrastinated and then didn't get to use that resource of him giving me feedback. So I lost that just because of my lack of just like discipline and procrastinating. So there's that. I'm going to be honest about that. So I was not able to get the full benefits of that launch of the course at that time with what he was offering. There's that. We're going to start, with that being said, I'm going to start with the cons of the course. As somebody who has learned other languages, it is very hard to learn a language if you do not have anybody to speak the language with. What this course is missing overall is it needs to have an ongoing community with people who have the course about it to be able to speak with somebody. You cannot learn a language just by hearing a video of somebody and repeating after them. Somebody has to hear you say the words so that they can correct you, because when I might think I'm saying the same exact thing he's saying, but in reality, you don't really know how you sound until somebody else like tells you how you sound. You know what I mean? Like, has somebody ever like mocked you or imitated the way you sound? You're like, I don't sound like that. And they're like, yes you do. You don't know. So it's like you're not really conscious of how you sound until somebody points it out or speaks back to you. You know what I'm saying? So this course is missing, like, he needs I understand he offered it for that portion of when he launched it, but it needs to be an ongoing thing. Like, I feel like you really can't get that unless you have somebody to speak this language with. As somebody who has zero French knowledge, somebody got to say something to me for me to understand what I'm talking about. And then my next and final con, in the portion when he was talking about numbers, he kept singing the song Kiss Me Through the Phone, but he was getting the number wrong and it was grinding my gears. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because when I was a child, I thought I was going to marry Soulja Boy. I was deeply in love with him, so I know everything there is to know about him and all of his songs. He was saying 678 999 1212, and it's 678 999 8212. He kept saying it wrong, and I'm like, Damon, that is not the song lyrics. What are you doing? Like, no, that's the wrong words. So just so you know, Damon, I don't know if you're about to go back. I don't know if you need to feel like you need to go back in there and redo that portion of the text, but you're saying the numbers wrong, okay? For all you who don't know Soulja Boy like I do, it's 678 999 821. Baby, you know that I miss you. I wanna get with you tonight, but I cannot, baby girl. Then that's the issue. Okay, I just had to put that in there, Damon. I'm sorry. That's the only flaw. Okay, I think that's good though. That's the only critique I have about your course. Is that you saying this wrong words to the Soulja Boy Kiss Me Through the Phone lyrics. I'm sorry. That's pretty good, you know? One thing I loved about this course is you could literally see his passion through the screen. It is obvious that he loves French. He loves French culture and he loves teaching people. Like, I feel like if Damon could teach everybody around the world French, he would do that. Like, it is very like exciting to see how excited your teacher is to teach you. Like, that is a good feeling throughout this course. Like, he loves sitting here making these corny jokes, teaching you how to conjugate ER verbs. Like, that is his bread and butter. That is what he loves. That is what he is passionate about in life. Somebody teaching you how to conjugate a verb with a smile on and like giddy about it. Like, you're set up for success just off of that. You know what I mean? So I really loved that you could tell every single detail in this French course was passionate. He really wants the people who buy this course not to just get their money off of it, but I want you to come out of this course wanting to be the best French speaker that you could possibly be. Even if your idea is not to be like fluent, like he wants everybody to want to be a better French speaker, to not, and also not be like afraid of like speaking French in your own little twang. Like he's also not somebody that's super obsessed, like you have to say it like French people, you shouldn't have an accent. Like he embraces that you may say these things different no matter how many times you like practice it or get it right. Accents exist, things like, I don't know, like it just feels good to know that he loves the teaching this. Like this is something that he loves, you know? And to kind of piggyback off the first con of why I'm saying that this needs to have some type of learning material, the reason why this year I was able to pick this course back up is because I have a French teacher now. I meet with the French teacher. She lives in Cameroon, and I found her from a language tutor app. And I'm able to keep up with this course because it's like I compare the course with what I'm learning. So right now in the course, with my French teacher, we're going over numbers. We're going over my birth dates and the days of the months and 1 through 100 and all the different crazy math you got to do once you start getting to the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Damon did a whole chapter on numbers. So when I'm done with my French teacher, I go back into the Damon course. So this is the perfect course to pair with a teacher. So this is why I'm now able to benefit to what this course offers, because I have somebody to speak French with. I live in Columbus, Ohio. There's no French speakers here. So my only option when it comes to speaking this language is to find somebody online. Spanish, I speak Spanish, but Spanish speakers are everywhere. My neighbors are Mexican, so I can just walk up to them and start speaking Spanish. I work with Mexicans, I can speak Spanish just to them. So it's like, same with Italian and Portuguese I'm speaking. The only time I'm able to speak those languages is when I'm speaking to my tutor. So now that I have a French tutor, I have somebody to speak to, not just somebody I can like send notes to on, hey, I don't know how to conjugate this verb, like he was offering in this French course. I can hear somebody say, hey, you're saying this wrong. For example, when I was learning 1 through 10, I kept saying 9, neuf, and it's neuf. Neuf. And I was saying 8, huit, and it's wheat. So I can't, but when I was learning it by myself in the course with Damon, I probably wasn't hearing the fact that I was saying those words wrong. But I'm saying it to a French speaker in real time. She's like, no, you're saying it this way because you're reading this like you're reading the letters in English, in the English alphabet, and not in the French alphabet. So that's why you're saying it that way. So this course, it's so much easier, so much funner when I'm pairing it with my French tutor. So whatever topics I'm learning with my French tutor, I just go to that chapter in the French course by Damon Domonique, and it's so much easier to get through. This kind of contradicts me saying that French is a very hard language, but because I speak other Romance languages, it's very easy. No, it's not very easy. It's easier to understand this because he will very much, like when he's explaining a rule, certain spelling, vocabulary, or things like that, he very often references, oh, it's the same in Italian, oh, it's the same in Spanish. And because I'm learning those languages all at the same time, I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm able to catch on to things a little faster because I have another language that's similar to French to reference. You know what I mean? So when he was talking about like in the numbers, I keep talking about this damn numbers chapter. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it. Probably because it's the most recent one I'm learning about with my French teacher. But when you go to like 15, 14, 14, 15, it's the same in Spanish. What is it in Spanish? 15, Jesus, 14, 15. Like he's kind of like comparing it. Like if you speak this other Romance language, it's kind of the same in that. So it's very helpful if you're learning another Romance language or you speak another Romance language to kind of catch on. So in a nutshell, I 100% will recommend this course to anybody who's interested in it, but you have to pair it with you have to pair it with a tutor. If you do not have access to a French speaker, this course is kind of just like you intaking a whole bunch of information, but you're not even sure if you're using it right. Like I mentioned, it was hard for me to get through this language to this course the first time when I first bought it, because like even though he offered some type of feedback, it was only written feedback. It wasn't like, hey, we're gonna meet on a Zoom meeting every week and you're gonna talk to me in French. Like, I don't have access to French speakers in Ohio. I have to have a tutor. So if you do not have access to a French speaker, get a tutor. I use the app Preply. And like I said, my tutor lives in Cameroon, so we meet once a week. And anytime I need to I have questions or whatever the case may be, or whatever lesson she teaches me, I'm able to speak to her. So again, like my other languages that I learned, I didn't start getting good at them when I was trying to learn them on my own. Like, that's kind of like not really going to work. So you're not going to know how bad your accent is. And it's just going to be overall harder to like have that discipline by yourself. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The only critiques, like I mentioned, there needs to be a resource for us to speak to people, and he said the numbers to Soulja Boy can speak through the phone call. That's it. Other than that, baby, I'm excited to keep continuing using this course. I am very happy that I have this course to continue to like reference as I am continuing to learn French. And my goal by the end of this summer is to purchase part 2, French level 2. I can't wait to do that. But that's it. Au revoir.